What's up guys, Matt back again with another unboxing video, and today we're going to be reviewing the DXF Gohan Beast. Before we dive into the video, please remember to subscribe and hit the bell, like the video, comment your thoughts down below for us to discuss, follow me on my socials, and consider becoming a YouTube member to enter into our monthly giveaways and Discord server so our community can help you on your Dragon Ball figure collecting journey. This figure is based on Gohan Beast from Dragon Ball Super Superhero. The figure itself is based on Gohan Beast's movie poster. DXF are Bandai Spirit / Banpresto crane / prize figures of small museum-style figures on bases. If you're interested in buying this figure, check my affiliate links down in the description below to pick them up for yourself and support me. This figure was released on May 18th, 2023 in Japan. Gohan stands at about 6.5 inches on his base, about 6 inches off of his base, weighs 12.6 ounces in box, weighs 8 ounces on his own, and the figure comes with his upper body, lower body, and base. All right, DXF Figures, man. I have not reviewed a DXF figure since pretty much the start of my channel. If you guys look back, my reviews weren't anything really to write home about, but I think the DXF Vegeta from Dragon Ball Super was like my second review on this channel back in 2019 or 2018. I remember looking back at that figure and I was still figuring things out. I didn't really understand the different types of Dragon Ball figures, and you know, with time I started to learn this stuff, and DXF I see has had some pretty fun memories with a lot of our community, especially the one that emulates the Dragon Ball Z opening from like the Android Saga with all the characters together lined up. That one would be a really cool set for me to review. Hopefully I'll be able to do that in the future. Before we dive into this review for DXF Gohan, please let me know down in the comment section below which DXF figure do you want to see me review on the channel, and hopefully I'll be able to pick that up and I'll highlight your comment in a video and we'll discuss it. But without further ado, let's talk about this. DXF as a character choice for Beast Gohan, or Gohan Beast. It is a 5 out of 5. Gohan Beast is the very first in this DXF line. They typically don't repeat characters or forms in this line. Sometimes they do, which we'll talk about in a future review. But of course, Gohan Beast is bound to be in pretty much every single current line of figures from Bandai, whether it's Blood of Saiyans, DXF, GX Materia, Clear Eyes. It all is going to inevitably happen because he is the big form from the latest anime movie, so expect to see him in other lines if you haven't seen him there already. I mean, he's had 3 Ichiban Kuji figures already. It's pretty wild, but Gohan Beast is popular. He deserves to be in the line. I think it's a no-brainer. I love the form. I think because it's so jarring and different, even though it is a huge callback to Gohan versus Cell, like 1-to-1 with the whole, you know, transforming sequence, I still think it's really cool and I find it very unique, and I'm very interested to see if we learn more about it in the Dragon Ball story. So it is a 5 out of 5 for a character choice. The likeness is actually pretty good. I don't really have an issue. It does look a little bit different than the movie poster that it's taken from. I don't have that much of an issue with it because he still does look like Gohan in the face. They made him look a little more menacing than normal, I would argue. So I do think the likeness is strong. So because it isn't 1-to-1 with the movie poster and does look a little bit different, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It's not perfect, but it does look really good. He still looks like Gohan. I have no real gripes or issues with the figure's likeness. Just it is a little off from the source that it's taking inspiration from. Now, the sculpt quality is pretty solid. I've been actually kind of impressed with how good these DXF figures look. Gohan has plenty of detail on the sculpt itself. Obviously, the big takeaway is his hair. He has that big beast form hair. It's not quite as big as like the Omnibus Brave Beast Gohan, but it is still pretty big on this figure, and you can still see plenty of other details from like the battle damage all over his clothes. His muscles are really well sculpted. There are some areas of the sculpt, like on his shoulders, where it kind of looks like it was pieced together and they didn't really seamlessly glue those pieces together. I don't know if it's just me, but I think overall the sculpt is pretty good. Obviously, this figure is stuck to the base. I don't think he can stand up without the base. If he can, it's very hard to balance the figure without it. But I like the bases of this superhero line within DXF because they're white, they're polished, so they actually look kind of nice. And they have the superhero logo on them, so it makes them look a lot cooler if you get like all of the Dragon Ball Superhero DXF figures. It looks like more of a complete set to me. So I think overall the sculpt is pretty solid. There are some issues with the hair sculpt where you see like some lines that are deviating where it looks like they glued the whole thing on. So a little bit of a sloppy application for some parts of the sculpt. So overall, I think I'm gonna give the sculpt a 3 out of 5. Paint and shading is also pretty solid. I have seen shading on some DXF figures, especially the older ones, but some of the newer ones in this Dragon Ball Superhero line have shading. Gohan, unfortunately, does not have any shading, but his colors are pretty bright. They are perfectly aligned with the movie and what we've seen of the character and what they've shown of him. The paint, I would say the paint is actually very similar to the Omnibus Brave Ichiban Kuji that came out that I actually really liked. So I don't think it's bad. It's just lacking in some of that polish that we see in stuff like Ichiban Kuji, and of course older Crane figures that had shading applied to them. Even DXF, that Vegeta that I reviewed all that time ago, I remember had paint, very good paint and shading applied to it. So I think the paint and shading of this figure will get a 4 out of 5 from me. And then finally, size and scale. Obviously, that's where these Prize and Crane figures kind of lack. Gohan, these DXF figures are small. They're not like super tiny. I'd say they're still a really good size, but they don't scale very well together. Like, I think this Gohan and the Orange Piccolo are basically the same height, whereas Orange Piccolo scales to be larger. So even within the same set, they're not going to scale all that well. But I don't think it's bad in any way. It's just kind of like okay. So I think size and scale for Beast Gohan is going to be a 3 out of 5 for me. But overall, guys, those are my thoughts on this figure. I don't think he's a bad pickup. If you can get him for a discounted price, say like $10 to $15, I think it'd be well worth the pickup. He isn't bad at all, and if you're planning to get the whole superhero line within DXF, I think it would be pretty fair to pick this guy up. So I'm going to walk away today and give this figure a 3.5 out of 5. But until the next video, guys, I will see you all later.